The lights in the grand auditorium dimmed to a hush, and silence swept over the hundreds of people waiting in their seats. The chatter that had filled the air moments earlier faded, replaced by anticipation. It was the evening of the National Talent Showcase, a competition known for changing lives overnight. Dreamers from every corner of the country came here with trembling hearts and soaring hopes. Some would walk away in disappointment, but a few rare souls would capture the hearts of millions. The host's voice boomed across the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next performer, Emily Grace." From the shadows at the side of the stage, a slender girl slowly stepped forward. She held a white cane in her right hand, moving with careful, deliberate steps. Her long chestnut hair swayed gently as she walked, her pale eyes staring forward yet unseeing. Emily was blind, and everyone in the hall could tell from the way she moved. She was just 16 years old, but there was a quiet strength in her smile. The audience murmured softly, some whispered with sympathy, others with doubt. "Oh, she's blind, how will she perform? Maybe it's just for sympathy votes." On the judges' panel, Richard, the sternest of them all, leaned back in his chair, arms folded. He muttered under his breath, "This better not be a pity act." A volunteer guided Emily gently to the center of the stage. The microphone stood tall before her, and the host asked kindly, "Emily, are you ready?" Emily nodded. "I can't see the faces in front of me," she said softly, her voice steady but tender, "but I can feel the energy in this room. And tonight, I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to hear my heart." The audience grew quiet, leaning forward. A single note played from the piano track. Emily took a deep breath, lifted her chin, and began to sing. From the very first note, the world seemed to stop. Her voice was soft yet powerful, fragile yet unbreakable. It floated through the air like a prayer, pure and angelic. The audience sat frozen, unable to believe that such a voice could come from a girl who had faced so much darkness. Her blind eyes did not see, but her soul saw more than any of them ever could. As the song rose into its chorus, emotion stirred like waves in the hall. Tears welled up in the eyes of strangers who had never met her. The melody seemed to carry the weight of every struggle she had endured, every dream she had clung to, every ounce of courage it took to stand on that stage. Her voice was not just music, it was healing, it was light, it was hope. Even Judge Richard, who had prepared to remain unmoved, felt something inside him shift. He leaned forward, glasses slipping down his nose, eyes glistening. When Emily reached the final note, her voice soared to the rafters and held there, trembling like the last light of a setting sun. Then it faded into silence. For a moment, no one moved. The audience sat breathless, as though afraid to break the spell she had woven. And then, thunderous applause erupted. People rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, shouting her name. Tears streamed down faces everywhere. Emily stood still, smiling faintly, tears gathering in her own blind eyes. She whispered, "Thank you." But behind her smile was a lifetime of pain that had brought her to this moment. Emily had been born blind. Her father left when she was just a baby, unable to handle the challenges of raising a child with special needs. Her mother, Sarah, worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses during the day and waitressing at night, just to put food on the table. Life was hard, and people weren't always kind. At school, Emily was teased, called names, and made to feel like she didn't belong. Yet Sarah never let her daughter believe she was less than anyone else. Every night, when Emily cried and asked, "Why can't I be like other kids, Mom?" Sarah would take her hands and whisper, "God may have closed your eyes, Emily, but He opened your soul to hear the music of heaven. Your voice is your gift. Never let anyone take it from you." Music became Emily's escape. She couldn't see colors, but she felt them in sound. She couldn't watch sunsets, but she heard them in melodies. She couldn't read books with her eyes, but she devoured them with her ears, absorbing lyrics and poetry that shaped her songs. Still, life tested her. When her mother fell ill and could no longer work, Emily thought her dreams were over. Bills piled up, and some nights they went to bed hungry. Emily even considered giving up singing to find some way, any way, to earn money. But Sarah begged her, "Don't ever stop singing, Emily. One day, your voice will take us out of this darkness." That night on stage, Emily's voice had done more than just impress a crowd. It had reached into hearts and changed something forever. When the applause finally settled, Judge Richard cleared his throat, his voice cracking slightly. "Emily," he said, "I came here tonight expecting just another performance. But what I heard was a miracle. You didn't just sing. You reminded us what it means to be human." His words were met with another roar of applause. The other judges echoed their praise, but one of them added, "Emily, I don't think you realize this yet, but the world is about to know your name." The competition went on, but nothing that night compared to Emily's song. Clips of her performance were uploaded to social media, and within hours, they went viral. Millions watched, millions shared, and millions wept. Strangers across the country donated to help her family. Letters poured in from people who said her voice had saved them from despair. Emily's life began to change. But even as opportunities came her way, record deals, interviews, invitations to perform on the biggest stages, Emily never forgot her roots. She always credited her mother, the woman who believed in her when no one else did. Then came a twist no one expected. Just months after Emily's rise to fame, Sarah's illness worsened. Doctors delivered the heartbreaking news: it was late-stage cancer. Emily was devastated. The very person who had carried her dreams was slipping away. But Sarah, lying in her hospital bed, held Emily's hand and whispered, "Don't cry for me, my angel. Sing for me. Promise me you'll keep singing, no matter what happens." On the night of the talent showcase finals, Emily dedicated her song to her mother. She sang not with sorrow, but with love. Her voice carried through every corner of the arena, wrapping around every soul present. People sobbed openly, touched not just by the beauty of her voice but by the depth of her love. When she finished, the audience was on its feet again, weeping and cheering. The judges didn't hesitate, they declared her the winner. But the true victory wasn't the trophy. It was the moment Emily ran off stage, trophy in hand, and rushed to the hospital to place it beside her mother's bed. Sarah smiled weakly, tears glistening in her eyes. "I told you, Emily, your voice would change the world." Sarah passed away just days later, but Emily kept her promise. She sang at her mother's funeral, her angelic voice lifting sorrow into hope. And from that day forward, every stage she stood on, every song she sang for her mother. Years later, Emily used her fame not for luxury, but for kindness. She started a foundation for blind children, providing them with music lessons and opportunities she never had. She told them, "Your disability is not your ending. It's the beginning of your unique story." Emily Grace became a name known worldwide, not because she could see, but because she could make others feel. Her blind eyes never opened, but her voice opened millions of hearts. And whenever people asked her how she found the strength to keep going, Emily would smile and say, "I may not see the world like you do, but I sing so that you can hear the light I carry inside." Her story reminded everyone that true beauty isn't in what we see, it's in what we give, what we share, and how we love. And so, the blind girl with the angelic voice became more than just a singer. She became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest night, there is music, there is light, and there is love strong enough to move the world to tears.